thought it would be more prudent to be a financier for the war effort, as he felt Neo being more competent on the field. He was in charge of overseeing imperial currency, as he was now studying the new system being implemented in the Eastern Fringe. The Advanced Exploratory was tasked in setting up the nearby planets into their respective roles for the Imperium. Neo was undergoing new training to become a Calexis assassin, as her illusion semblance can be quite useful. Jaune and his team makes their way back to Beacon on a Thunderhawk. Meanwhile, Magnus and Kitten was stalking around Beacon, keeping it safe and messing around. Kitten, Magnus. He screams in a whisper. Magnus was scaring the pants off any unsuspecting student that were acting similar to his brothers. He recently scared Mercury one time. Magnus. Hee now I can see why father did this in his youth. Kitten. Sigh like father like son I suppose. His auspex detected a signal. It was Jaune notifying them of their return. It was also around this time that RWBY and Yang's Drunkle Crow was on a work-related visit. Meanwhile, Beacon landing pads. The Thunderhawk roars over the students, surprising them, as this aircraft that's so fast has never been seen before. The RWBY friends all disembark to hear a certain pair squabbling, making a crowd gather. Jaune. I'll go in first, everyone just blend in. Nora, aye Captain. Ren looks out for a certain silver-haired bastard. Pyrrha, I'll go back to our dorm and lay low. I don't want Cinder gunning for me early. Yang, me and Blake will go too, like bodyguards. Blake, yeah, those three will be on guard with the best teams in Beacon. They all nod and proceed as planned. The Astartes remained on board to avoid alerting anyone, as the then left to return to their battle barge. Crow, man, you can't help show off, huh? Winter, sir, I ask you to stand down. Crow, or what? Winter, or I will resort to using force. Crow, typical army behavior. The two then fought, causing a scene while RWBY and Weiss went to meet with their families. Jaune, on the other hand, was trying to get all eyes on him to paint a clear target for Cinder and her goon squad and take the heat off of Pyrrha and the others. Crow duped Winter into a brawl. Crow, hey, you're good at dancing. I still don't get this ship. Crow is in his 40s while Winter is in her 20s. Winter, shut up. But it was cut short. Ashvin and Glinda were watching on the cameras. Another prediction fulfilled, further solidifying Jaune's claims that he is from the future. Prediction: Crow versus Winter. Glinda, his story checks out. The next thing that'll happen is the door opens to a certain general. Back to the fight. Before the two clash again, something crashes in between them. They cover their faces from the dust that was kicked up. Winter noticed a mix of red and white feathers, some falling to the ground. Crow coughed and cleared the air to see. Jaune, might I suggest you two to deal with your problems in private? Crow, well, Schnee, it seems like you got an angel to save your ass. Winter, I don't. Jaune, no, an angel is here to hand you your ass, Branwyn. The students whispered around that Branwyn was one of the members of Beacon's premier team, STRQ. Crow, my reputation precedes me then. Jaune, no. You're just that terrible. I can see you a mile away. The students. Ugh. Crow got a tick mark on his head while Winter was on guard. Jaune glances around and saw Mercury, but he made it look like he didn't notice him. Crow. Alright, pretty boy. I guess I'll just have to show you what happens when someone runs his mouth. Jaune. Oh my, what do we have here? He looks him up and down. Jaune. A big-ass sword compensating for something small. Weeb-ass clothing. Unnecessary slicked-back spiky, slightly sexy hair. Let me guess, you're a wannabe anime protagonist. Crow was just speechless. Winter found the first call out really funny as she holds in her snicker. Crow then got in a stance as Jaune pulls out the Emperor's blade. Jaune. Oh, and before you say something, this was made for a bigger person than me. I'm only borrowing it. He then swung it down as Crow tried to block it, only for it to explode on him, leaving him in a poor and beaten state. Mercury saw this and ran away to warn Cinder. Jaune nods as RWBY and Weiss came in to help stop the fighting. Weiss. Sister. Winter. Weiss? RWBY picks up Crow like a sack of potatoes over her shoulder. Ironwood. What's going on here? They all looked to the newcomer as Jaune, and the girls looked at him with a deadpan stare. Weiss whispered to him. Weiss, did he take the bait? Jaune. Hook, line, and sinker. The vital and the fall now looms around the corner. But something is coming from the warp.